Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Mary and I give you an extra warm welcome. I would love it if you grabbed a snack, stayed for a while and click the subscribe button. I would love to have you. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you more than you know. So as you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to do an overview of Dior as a makeup brand. I did put in a poll which you would like for me to do next, like a full face, but basically me using every single makeup item that I personally own from the brand, and Dior won by a lot. I was waiting for this order to come in, which is here. I placed an order for one of the new Dior blushes, the Rosy Glow, is that what they're called? Yeah, I got the shade 006 Berry. I don't know why, it took quite a bit for me to receive this in the mail, but it's here. So we are going to get started with applying all of the Dior makeup items that I personally own, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on the brand as a whole. Okay, let's get started. As far as Dior primers, I don't have any, but I did get this little sample. I believe it's like a cream, Karen Perfect. So I'm just going to apply this to moisturize my face, and then I'll go into different primers. I have been wanting to purchase the, I think it's the matte one, but I just haven't. Okay, it's a nice cream. It definitely feels hydrating and maybe a tiny bit blurring. I've had this for a little bit. Since it's so small, it gets lost in my drawers. And I do own two foundations, and as you can tell, I haven't picked them up in a good minute. So I need to shake these up. Luckily, they're pretty watery. So I have here the Forever Skin Glow. This one is in 3W, I think. Don't ask me why I got W. I'm usually not a warm undertone, and this is way too dark. And this one here is the Forever Dior, the matte or the soft matte. In 3N, this one's a tiny bit too dark for me, so I am going to mix a little bit of the Dior Forever Skin Correct, and you can tell I also haven't picked this up in a good minute, so I'm guessing it's like up to here, and 1.5N, which is too light. I just haven't picked up my correct shades because I kind of want to get a use out of these before I do that. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and mix these two along with the concealer. This one dries a tiny bit fast. This one's actually beautiful. And this is the formulation before they reformulated the foundation. This is the one when they reformulated. I don't know if they've done that again, but this is, I think, the last time they reformulated. Okay, so let me apply my little concoction and blend it out on my skin. By the way, I always put pictures up of how much each product is. So if I'm not mentioning it, that's why. Sonia G Classic Base. Okay, this is what the base is looking like. A tiny bit too tan, but not too bad. Yeah, mixing those two foundations plus a tiny bit of the concealer, it works really well. I should buy my correct shade, which is probably 2.5N, because this 3N is just, it's darker. I feel like the reformulation runs a tiny bit darker than the one before this, because I think it's the third time they have reformulated it. I'm not sure. I'm no Dior expert. If you know, let me know down below. Okay, now we're going to jump into concealer. And FYI, the matte one, it dries down so fast. You have to be very quick and work in sections, or do what I do, which is spray my brush, just get it a tiny bit damp, and then that helps spread and blend out the product a lot easier without having to rush or feeling like you have patches. Okay, now for concealers, I actually do own two different ones. Like I mentioned earlier, the Forever Skin Correct concealer, and this is the Backstage, the Dior Backstage Flash Perfection concealer. And as you can tell, I have not picked this up in quite some time. I don't enjoy this one. This one creases like crazy, looks too heavy under my eyes. It's just not my favorite. And I purchased this in 2N and I have a 1.5. They look pretty similar in shade, don't they? So I think what I'm going to do is put a tiny bit of the Backstage one. And this is what the doe foot looks like for this one. On one eye, and then we'll do the other one on the other eye. Or the other side, I should say. The applicator for this is perfect. I don't enjoy this concealer. I feel it just lays down too heavy. I haven't used it in quite some time, so I might change my mind, but from what I last recall, it's a tiny bit too heavy. Now the other concealer in my makeup is looking a tiny bit heavier than I normally would go. It's very hard when you do like your own concoction to map out how much you're using. Okay, I'm going to jump in to my Sonia G Mini Base, and I'm so excited to see what her new brush is. She's coming out with a new brush. I don't know if she's announced it yet, but I'm excited to see what it is. Okay, I'm blending out the Backstage side first. A lot of people fell in love with this, and I was not one of those. We'll see today how this goes. Okay. Yeah, see, right now I feel like it looks a tiny bit too heavy. Maybe once I set it, because I usually put a tiny bit of setting spray before going in with powder, and that usually helps just blend it out more seamlessly and make it sink into my skin. Yeah, I'm enjoying this side a tiny bit better. Okay, my husband is mowing the lawn. Family's over, his niece, so my niece by marriage is getting married this Saturday. We're 2 days away, and so we have family coming over and they're staying, so we're trying to get everything nice and cleaned up before they get here. Okay, so I actually own 3 different powders from Dior, which is crazy. I didn't realize I did. The very first one I purchased is the very popular one, the Dior Backstage Face and Body Powder No Powder. So this I use as a finishing powder more than anything. What shade do I have? 2N. This gets hard pan very fast, and it's because of the nature of the formula. So it's like a powder or a cream to powder, just the consistency is very, very soft. I use this as a finishing powder. Does not work all that great with keeping my oils at bay. Then the second powder I purchased is this one here, and it is the Dior Forever Cushion Powder, and I purchased in the shade Light. There's only 3 shades available for this, which is crazy. This is also another powder that doesn't hold my oils all that great, and every time I use it I feel like it makes my skin darker, so I rarely use this. And then the latest one they launched, which is this one, it is the Dior Forever Natural Velvet Powder. It's like the pressed powder. It's this compact foundation. It is not a powder foundation, I promise you. 3N Neutral is the shade I picked up, and it is a very light shade. There's no way that this is 3N. It's way lighter than it looks in the pan, and it's just a very soft. If you were to use this as foundation, it would be a super light coverage. We're going to use this for today, and I'm only going to use this to set my whole face. I'm going to use something different for my under eyes because I don't want to use this for the under eyes. Okay, let's try this one first real quick on one side and see how that goes. Make Beauty powder brush. Did it darken up my foundation? I feel like it did, just a tiny bit, right? Or am I just delusional? Okay, now let's go into this one. Okay, I'm just going to look extra tan today. Good thing I'm wearing a hoodie.
All right, so.
Bronzer. Do they have any cream bronzers? I don't think they do. If they do, I don't own a cream bronzer. I own the powder bronzers. And during a Sephora VIB sale, I believe, I purchased the Dior Forever Natural Bronze in 05 Warm Bronze. And this one, even though it looks pretty dark in the pan, I do have to really build it up to use this. So when they came out with their latest collection, the summer 2023, which I do have the quint from that collection, they came out with bronzers, same formula, it's just it had the special packaging. The unicorn is the same as the normal packaging, but yeah, so I was going to purchase a bronzer in shade 06. What is this? Amber Bronze. But they did not have it available for since it released. I would go on there and I would click on shade 006, but it would say notify me when available. Well, finally, when I purchased the blush, I checked to see if 06 was available, and it was. So I placed my order for this bronzer and for the blush, and I'm guessing that's why it took forever to get to me, because of the bronzer, but honestly I don't know. And I also didn't even get a notification that it was coming. It just arrived at my door. So here is what the shade looks like, and I know it looks scary, but I'm telling you, they run lighter than they look in the pan, and it does have the little Christian Dior embossment on there. So let me swatch this. So definitely feel like this shade is going to be a tiny bit better. So this is 05 and this is 06 for now that summer's here and I'm tanning a tiny bit. Okay, I'm excited. Okay, I'm going to start with this Soft Blend 60, and I'm going to start with the shade 006. What was it? Amber Bronze. And it does have that typical Dior scent, FYI. And this one doesn't have too much kick up in the pan. Does this one have? The formula in these, it's not super powdery and it doesn't have a lot of kick up in the pan, which is nice. You don't end up wasting all this product when you dip your brush, And see, like, it looks so dark, but it doesn't look like that on me. I wish you wouldn't have to build them up so much. I do enjoy this formula. I do feel like their bronzer is nice, but the main thing for me is one, the shade range, and two, you just have to really build it up. Okay, now we're going to move on to eyeshadow before we go into the cheeks. All right, so I own 4 quints and one of the Dior Backstage eyeshadow palettes. Okay, so my very first, gosh, which one was it? It was a special edition one, the Early Bird. That was my very first eyeshadow palette from Dior. And this is a cute one. The color story is what attracted me, but definitely not the best I have tried from Dior. This shade, it's not even as dark as it looks. This one doesn't even look like the shade that it is in the pan on the eyes. And this one you have to really build up, and it's just, you still get nothing. So I did create, I think, 2 beautiful eye looks with this palette, but it was just not what I was expecting. Then after that palette, I purchased this one, which is the Red Tartan. And this one pleasantly surprised me. Such a beautiful palette. I only have, I think, 1 eye look with this palette. I don't pick it up often, and I think I'm going to incorporate this one in today's eye look because the pigmentation in this palette is actually pretty impressive when it comes to the eyeshadow formulation, because they're not known for their pigment. Okay, and then the one I purchased after that, was it Popeline? I think it was Popeline, and it's this pretty rosy pink palette. This one as light as it looks in the pans is as light as it's going to look on your eye. This brown, it's like a very sheer metallic brown. Well, it's not sheer, but it's a very light brown metallic. Now, I did create some beautiful eye looks, but it's very hard to tell these 3 shades on my eyelids. So I feel like some of the pink shades in here are a tiny bit redundant. It is a pretty palette, but they could have done better. Okay, and the latest eyeshadow palette I purchased is the 533 Rivage. And it's another limited edition. It's the one that they released for their spring 2023 or spring/summer 2023. Honestly, I'm not even sure. And I purchased this one because of this orange shade right here. I do have a review up on this one, and the eye look I created came out so pretty. I don't think I'm going to use this today because I'm not going for a super summery bright eye look. And then one of the Dior Backstage Eye Palette. I don't remember when I purchased this one, but it's like, you know, shades that you use almost every day. It's the Bronze Neutrals. Okay, so I think I'm going to use this one and incorporate the red tartan into my eye look, and I'm just going to, you know, do my thing and then I'll be back. Sephora 19 brush, red tartan. It Cosmetics for Ulta brush number 105. Red tartan, Sigma E42. Sigma E54. BK Beauty 204. Okay, here are the eyes nice and done. I still need to do my inner corner highlight and the brow bone. I don't know yet if I'm going to use the red tartan and jump into this one, or if I'm going to use the Dior highlighter, but I will let you all know. I went ahead and did mascara off camera. I don't own one from Dior, but I hear good things about 1 or 2 of them. And I also don't own any eyebrow products from the brand, but I think they recently announced that they're coming out with new brow pencils, I think. Okay, now blush. I love blush. I love blush, but I don't own too many Dior blushes. I only have 2 here, plus the new one that I purchased. So one of these is limited edition, and it's from the Birds of a Feather collection, which is that quint that I purchased that has the red and the purple and that mustard shade. I don't think I gave the palettes such an amazing review, but here is the shade. Nowhere on here does it say the name of the shade, but I'm pretty sure this was limited edition. 462 is the shade, and as you can tell, it's a very beautiful coral kind of blush. But it's not scary. Like, it looks scary in the pan, but once you swatch it, it's actually very beautiful. I'm actually glad I did not pick up the coral shade from the new shades that they just dropped, because I feel like it looks very similar to this. Okay, another one. I forget when I picked this up. It might have been when a collection dropped. I don't know if this is limited edition, but 361 is the shade, and I don't like this. I do not like this formula because it's a very shimmery formula. Well, not shimmery, but sheeny formula, and it almost makes it look like I have a bruise on my cheek. You see? The shade itself, it's a beautiful mauvey rosy tone, but because of the formula, it makes it look like I have a bruise on my cheek. I just don't like the shift it gives to my cheeks. Okay, and here is the new Dior blush, the Rosy Glow. I think that's pretty much what it's called. And I purchased 006 Berry, which is that beautiful purple berry shade. Unicorn, same as the Dior Unicorn for everything else. And here is the little component. And there she is. I know the pan looks scary, but with Dior, it's safe to say it's not as scary as the pan looks. Just from personal experience with everything I have tried from Dior. Okay, let's swatch this shade. Ooh, feels very soft. Ruining the embossment. And this is the very first, oh wow, okay, it swatches very well. Okay, I wonder if this will work. I mean, obviously this is meant for like deeper complexions, but it's the one that attracted me the most to purchasing. A lot of pretty shades, new shades that they came out with. I never tried the original little baby pink or Barbie pink and the coral one. I never tried those. I almost purchased, was it the coral one or the pink? I can't remember, but I almost purchased it, and it was recently, and I'm glad I didn't because new shades came out and I prefer the new shades better than the original too. Okay, so this is the Sonia G Soft Cheek Brush, and we're going to jump into this berry shade first, and then maybe I'll incorporate one of the other ones. But the cloud coverage took the sun away. We're relying a lot on my ring light. Okay, so I feel like even though it looks scary, and even though the swatched very well, it is a very soft shade. So don't be scared. I think honestly, I feel like a lot of skin tones would be able to use this shade. It's so pretty. Ooh, I'm so happy with this one I picked up. So pretty. Okay, I did add a tiny bit of that sheeny shade that I don't like on its own. That's the only way I've been able to use this, is to incorporate it with another blush. Okay, but I feel this looks very pretty. I almost feel I did have to bring down a tiny bit as I'm applying more on my nose. I felt like I looked from Violet from the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But that is so pretty, isn't it? Okay, now we're going to jump into some luminizers, which is the highlighters from Dior. I don't know how many different formulas they have come out with. I do own 2 different highlights and they're pretty similar. The very first one I purchased is the 01 Nude Glow. I want to say these came out 2 years ago, I think. And it's a very beautiful, like peachy champagne-y kind of shade. So pretty. Formula is actually pretty soft. You can tell that I enjoy this because the embossment is pretty much gone. So 001 Nude Glow is right here. And I love it because it literally melts right into my skin. Highlighters that have a peachy undertone to it tend to do that. That is why my favorite highlighter that McGrath ever came out with was the Divine Rose one. Okay, so here is the other one that I own, and it's from the recent launch, the 2023 spring/summer collection. I forget what it's called. Coral Cruise is the name of this one, and this one does have a tiny bit more of a pink shift to it, but when you look at both of the ones that I own, they have very similar vibes to them, you know? You can tell that this one does have a tiny bit more pink to it, but they look very similar on the cheek. I think I prefer this one, the Nude Glow, over the Coral Cruise. And honestly, the formula feels so much softer in the Nude Glow. But you can also tell that I've really been putting this one to use because the embossment is also gone. So this is Coral Cruise right here. And I feel like this one maybe looks a tiny bit more peachy. Well, no, I feel like they look very similar. When I did the review on this new highlight, they looked very similar. So it makes sense on why I enjoy it so much. Okay, so we're gonna jump into the Coral Cruise just because it's the newest one in my collection, but I enjoy both equally. Very, very pretty highlighters. Okay, this is a Sigma 40. You see that? So pretty. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, I don't know where my sun went, but it's gone. All right, so before we move on to the lips, which will be pretty much the final step, because I think that's everything. Yeah, we're going to use this Dior Backstage Face and Body Powder, No Powder. I have the shade 2N. I only use this as finishing powder. And you can tell it gets hard pan fairly quick. I don't think I would repurchase this after either I get rid of this or I pan it, which I doubt I'll pan it, but big fluffy brush. I'm just going to use this as a finishing powder. I honestly don't need too much. And it does blur the skin. Oh my gosh, I'm like full beat today. Not my intentions, but you know what is Dior, and why not? It does offer a tiny bit of coverage, but I just don't use this enough to say that I will repurchase it, you know? Okay, now we're going to jump into lippies, and I received a gift card from my best friend for Mother's Day. She also gave me another one for my birthday, and I took advantage and I purchased some makeup that I've been eyeing for a while. I picked up the Tom Ford powder bronzer, which I have used once or twice, but I haven't featured it in a video. And I also purchased a Dior, it's like a lip contour, so basically a lip liner. What shade did I pick up? This is 414 Jungle. Is that what I wanted to get? Oh my gosh, I hope I did not get sent the wrong one. Okay, so this is what the lip liner looks like, and it has the little brush, kind of like the Chanel, and then it does come with a little sharpener, which we love. Oh my gosh, Jungle, is that the shade? I honestly don't remember, but it's a nude shade. It might be too dark for what I wanted, but it's very soft. Wow, it literally melts into my hand. Oh my goodness, so creamy. This is a little orange for what I thought I honestly don't remember what shade I wanted to get, but this is what we have to work with. So let's put this on. Very creamy. Oh my gosh. Very pigmented. Oh, but when you blend it, it feels like powder, which is nice. Okay, love that, and I feel like it's going to be a very long-lasting lip liner.
Okay.
Now, lipstick, I don't personally have any lipsticks that I like purchased myself, but I do have two that they sent over when I purchased something from the brand. 100 Nude Look is the first one I received, and I actually do really love this, and it's the satin matte formula. Really, really, really pretty. I enjoy this shade a lot. If I finish this up, I will be purchasing the full size. And this is the newest one that I got. What shade is this? It's a red one, 999, and the lettering is too small, but it's a red shade. This, I'm not going to wear today, but it looks like a beautiful red tone shade. Let me swatch it. And it's the creamy formula. Like a cranberry kind of red, maybe. Maybe it does have like a blue undertone. I won't be using this one today. I'll be using the 100 Nude Look, which is a nude, peachy nude shade. And it's the satin matte formula, like I said. I've really been enjoying this. When I wear this lipstick, a lot of people ask me what I'm wearing. And this formula is so nice and comfortable. It's almost like a powder kiss kind of formula on your lips. Really, really nice. Okay, let me go ahead and fix my hair and we can talk. and finish this video. Okay, my lovelies, here is the completed face with Dior Beauty makeup products. I did forget to mention that I do own one of the glosses. I forget what the name of I think it's the Addict, the Dior Addict lip gloss, something like that. But 640 J'adore is the name of the shade, and it does have just a tiny bit of pigment, but it's very sheer. Not very sheer, but it's kind of sheer. So if you put this on, it's not going to take over the lip color that you have. I just don't want to put a lip gloss on right now. I want to keep it this way. And for the inner corner, I started with that pink shimmery shade from the Red Tartan Quint, but it's too dark, so I just went into the Coral Cruise Luminizer and I did the inner corner and my brow bone. And yeah, here is the completed face. With Dior makeup. Overall, I think Dior is a good brand. There are certain things that I enjoy more than others. I definitely feel like they need to come out with a better powder, maybe a loose powder. I enjoy the Chanel so much, so if they came out with something like that, it would be great. I enjoy everything I have tried from Dior. It hasn't disappointed me too much. I feel like with the Quints, it's hit or miss. They're not all created equally, and probably half of the ones that I own I really enjoy, and the other two I'm like, I can live without those. Any products that I want to try from Dior, I think for sure mascara, because I have heard good things. I can't remember which mascara because I think they have more than one formulation. And eyebrows, I think they're coming out with a new eyebrow pencil, so it's a possibility I might pick it up. I don't know yet. Oh yeah, and the primer, for sure the primer, I kind of want to sort of pick it up, especially the mattifying one, because I do have the Gucci one and I really do love that. It is such a good primer, and it would be nice if the Dior worked as equally the same. Okay, but that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I feel like Dior is definitely a very luxurious, treat myself kind of makeup brand. Let me know what you have in your collection from Dior Beauty, and if you enjoy it or if you hate it, and if you've tried anything that I put on my face in this video. Okay, but that's going to be it. All right, my lovelies, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. You have no idea. All the comments, all the likes, if you use my links to shop, it truly means the world to me. Okay, well, with that being said, I would love it if you gave this video a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, and you would definitely help me out in the algorithm of hopefully bringing some new and fresh eyes to my channel. And if you haven't done so already, I would love it if you joined my small YouTube family by clicking the subscribe button. I would love to have you. All right, my lovelies, I will see you all on the next video. Bye.